We are all being lied to. The real employer is not who you currently clock in for, but it is the UCA, which is the United Corporations of America. Currently, we are seeing people that have money deciding no one is ever going to have a new idea of money again. If you look into things like the foreign exchange market, cryptocurrency, some of the stuff that I initially got involved with back in the day in a kind of get rich quick type thinking. Over the years, I've learned there's no getting rich quick, but they do try to sell you on who is keeping you from having a better life. And when you buy into that, you start to believe genuinely that the people that have more than you are not the reason that you don't have more, but it's actually the peers next to you that you've been working alongside and trying to relate to for as long as you can remember. And to just see how many lies are told and how many times we are misinformed and gaslit, it just goes to show that they have incentive to lie, and they don't have a reason to have us unite. I just left Walmart, and people seem to hate this idea of communism and hate this idea of socialism, like capitalism is the only way to go. And they don't realize when certain policies are already being enacted in our society for this company to make as much money as it does, it has benefited off of low income shoppers for as long as possible and off of low income wages. So, in order to support themselves, they get things like food stamps and government assistance, and even the company gets kickbacks. A company that is known for everyday low prices. That's how they get us. They get us in the door saying it's the best prices around. And then reality, you are paying the cost when the lowest prices are all on the goods that they manufacture themselves. And that is where it gets into the idea of communism, because it is hard to actually enact that on a nationwide scale. But when we bring it to the idea of the UCA, the United Corporations of America, they all can decide to treat their people like it's a communist society almost. I mean, Walmart even has its own town. If people didn't know that, it's got over 20 factories or 20 different sections to their main campus. It's really just crazy how there is so much money in the world, and you can hustle and grind and work as hard as you really can to get some of it, and that's the culture that's preached around us, get a side hustle, work harder, do more. And in reality, you're working for a dollar that's controlled by the Federal Reserve and by people that have always been printing more money. These central banks are installed as a way to control the masses. And I really don't know often who to tell these things, but people need to know, like, there are alternatives out there for what we can do for money. They're telling us what it has to be. We've been lied to. And it really takes the full deconstruction of the mind to understand this world that we are living in is unsustainable at its current rate. It doesn't need to burn down in order for it to shift. But we do need to recognize the people that are causing the harm and that they are actually lying and not helping anyone be protected. I mean, the government is supposed to work for us, yet we have lost money to somebody that has enriched themselves, even using one of the forms of decentralized tokenization through, um, you know, the World Liberty Financial Bank that they created and their USD1 coin. So many things people aren't talking about because it's not on the mainstream. It's not being created by their favorite followers or favorite creators. And I just feel like I'm doing myself and the world a disservice because we're all working so hard for dollars that we don't control, that will possibly get printed more of. And there's really no going back at this point. Like, it's going to take us to work together as communities and supporting individuals in each community to guide and lead each other. Um, but if that's what it'll take, that's what we got to do, because convenience does have a cost, and it's more expensive than free.